Hello everyone, this is Freaky Games, aka Touch the Stick on CFN, and today I am bringing you a video explaining the 10 things you can do to help yourself improve quickly in Street Fighter V. I'm making this video because oftentimes when I'm streaming, I get asked, how can I get better? So here are 10 ways that I guarantee will help you level up. Starting off with number 1, watch replays. This will seem like the most obvious and understated one because if you go to any stream, this is pretty much the first thing everyone tells you: watch replays. When you do watch replays, understand that it doesn't mean just watch your own replays. Of course, you want to watch your own replays, preferably the ones you lose. I find you gain a lot more knowledge about what you're doing wrong or what you need to improve on if you watch your own replays. It could be as simple as, okay, I did anti-air, or, oh, in this like really tense situation, my reaction time isn't very good. So it gives you a broad idea of what you need to work on. You should also watch other people's replays, so that are stronger than you. So, for example, if you are say you're stuck in gold or super gold, a good thing for you to do would be to watch like a platinum to super platinum level player that's playing your character, which you can easily search on CFN, and just watch them and get some ideas of like, oh, how are they playing neutral? How are they being offensive? What's their defensive habits? Like, what are they doing that is working for them that's not working for me? And try to incorporate that into your own game plan, and so you can stretch out and develop your own strategies, right? It's same thing. You should always, for any rank, you should always try to watch someone a league or two above your own. So, if you're in Platinum, you probably want to watch around Ultra Platinum to Diamond to Super Diamond. That's where you want to go. If you get to Diamond, you should probably start watching, Ultra Diamond to Warlords and trying to get the idea of what to do. So that would be my first suggestion. My next suggestion, or the next step I would take, is have a game plan with your character and know your matchups. So, if you're gonna play whoever you play, so let's take, because I main Falk, let's take Falk as the example, right? I main Falk. My game plan is to control mid range. That is my base. That before my character specific game plans, that is my general game plan because that is what my character is good at. So before I even go into a match, I understand my character is good at this range. If I were to play Ed, or I were to play Rashid, right? I would understand. Oh, I want to be up close, or I want them in the corner because I can pressure and destroy them there. If I'm Ken, I want to be offensive. I want to get in, right? I'm not really trying to play a footsie-based kind of game. Not that you can't play like that with those characters, but it's also understanding, like, my character is strong in this range, so that's where I'm going to play, essentially. Like, that's what you have to understand. Now, knowing your matchups is understanding that maybe you can't always play that way. So, for example, if I main Falk, right? My worst matchup is Dalsum because I cannot play the mid-range because Dalsum is just simply better at keep away than Falk. I cannot win there, so I have to play a more offensive game plan. So I have to change how I play to be able to beat the character, right? So your basic game plan may not always work versus the cast. Also, when this will come up later, one of my other steps, but you should also try to incorporate separate strategies for each character and knowing how to fight them with your character. But we're gonna get into that in a little bit. So next up, we have take notes of your character versus the roster. So just to show you what that kind of looks like. By the way, I have no script for this. I'm just kind of recording this off the cuff, so if I sound a little nervous, I do apologize. But this is what character notes would look like for me. So if I were getting my ass kicked by a Cammy, right? I'd go to Cammy, I'd highlight things, I'd say, okay. I would go to the training mode, and I would try to have an idea, right? So here I have use V-Trigger 2, use V-Skill 2, and then I say why I'm using it. I say refrain from using this forward heavy punch because Cammy's, unless it's into a V-Trigger 1 activation, or it's at max range when they don't have meter, because Cammy can punish forward heavy punch very easily. So it's not a very good button to use in the matchup unless I'm at max range and they don't have meter. Because on block, they can also critical. Like, not all Cammys will know this, and as you play, like, obviously, if someone doesn't know something, you should absolutely abuse that knowledge, right? If I play a Cammy that doesn't know that they can punish forward heavy punch, I'm pressing forward heavy punch on them. I don't care, right? I also have here at the end from my own personal, I always put a little game plan versus the character, right? So over here, I have my main game plan is to shoot low from when full screen. You stand heavy punch. I would actually update this because these are a little bit older. This is from 2020, but I would update this and say use stand medium kick, crouch medium kick. Like I would use more ranged buttons to play against footsies, against Cammy, and just try to like chip and annoy her into jumping at me. That would be my basic game plan, right? How you make notes is very easy, in case you're wondering. You go to the training mode. You don't have to do this all at once, by the way. I know this, like, if we were to just, like, scroll through everything, this seems like a lot, right? This seems like, oh, this took... I mean, this did take me a lot of work and a lot of effort. You will notice, however, as you become stronger in the game, you don't really refer back to your notes as much because certain things just stick with you, right? But what I would suggest is... every day, take a character or two into the training mode. Take your character versus another character, and just go in there and think of like how to beat things. Right? If I'm fighting Ryu, how do I beat Ryu's fireball? Okay, can my character Falk can bait DP? So okay, I could use that in the matchup. What are common strings that Ryu's like to do, right? Stand medium punch to crouch medium kick, for example, right? Okay, and understand like, oh, there's a 4-frame gap in there. Okay, well, I'm a 4-frame character as a Falk, so to me that is actually a true block string because without EXDP, I cannot interrupt that. I must hold that pressure. But if I'm a 3-frame character, it's like, oh, I may be able to hit crouch jab and like crouch jab buffer and punish Ryu for actually doing that string, right? So that's just things to keep in mind. The thing, like I said, that you do is you just take a character, at least one character a day, spend about 20-30 minutes, go through their frame data, and put things that are useful, right? Being like maybe something that's minus, like, oh, his stand medium kick is 8. I do actually believe it is 7 frames -2 on block. Okay, so that means he's -2 and he's left kind of far away, so I should take my turn with this button. Or understand that, hey, up close, a normal fireball from Ryu outside of V-Trigger 1 is -6. Okay, how do I punish that, right? Or I block Ryu's sweep. What's my best punish, right? Things like that. That way, if you don't do it in the match, when you're watching your replays, you can refer back to your notes and be like, oh, I should have done this to punish this. Okay. Or as you're watching your replays, you can actually make notes on the characters and be like, oh, I'm losing to this, so I should lab this. And then you go do that, and then you gain more knowledge. Because if you have more knowledge in this game, you become a stronger player. Moving on, we go to number 4. Have stronger players watch your replays and give you feedback. This is very simple. Most Twitch streams, you don't even have to, some you have to sub for, like around pro level players, because, you know, for them, time is money and can't blame them. So you can always get them to watch your replays. For myself, to give myself a quick little plug, I just require channel points. A lot of the time, if you're just struggling and you ask me to, I probably will just look at your replays. But for me, it's just channel points because I'm trying to grow my stream. Shoutouts to my own stream, freakygames.twitch.tv, you know, twitch.tv/freakygames. That's how you properly say it. There you go. But yeah, no, it's a good idea to have someone who's stronger than you watch your replays because they can watch you and understand what you're doing wrong quicker than you probably will on your own. So I highly recommend that. For me, that's shout out to my mod Avery 2D Goddess. She helped me in this game a lot. A lot of the things on this list is because of her. So big shout outs to her for helping me with this. Inadvertently, she doesn't know, but she did help me with this. And number 5, watch them. So this kind of goes into this. Watch stronger players to learn quicker. Number 5, right? This kind of ties in with number 1 of watching stronger players replays. However, this can also be like watching, if you're a Nash player, watching like a GM or a Warlord or like Ultra Diamond, someone stronger than you currently, just watching their streams and being like, oh, like, what are they doing? And then asking them, hey, why do you do that? Or it doesn't even have to be your own character. You can just watch a stronger player and be like, hey, like, I know that button is like +3. Why did you press a button there? And then, you know, because that way you understand the knowledge of like what they're thinking and what they're trying to get out of, right? Like it could be like, oh well, I pressed a button because last time he tried to like walk up grab after and that's fake and I checked him. Or it could be like, well yeah, that's +3, but the buttons afterwards aren't very strong, so I'm challenging. So things like that, right? It helps you absorb knowledge quicker, and it gets you an idea of what you could be doing for yourself in terms of offense or defense, right? So I would highly suggest that. Number six, learn or understand frame data. This is not an absolute must. If you're just playing casually just to have fun, you definitely don't have to learn frame data. But for me, I found going through notes and putting things down for frame data really helped me a lot. Really helped me improve quickly. Like I understood like, hey, most sweeps in the game are -10 to -12, right? A few of them are -8, so you're gonna have to check, right? But it made me go, oh, okay. So with my character, I can press, instead of just pressing my 8-frame crouch medium kick, my crouch, my crouch medium kick or my crouch medium punch with fall, and not really getting much damage or anything. I can press my stand medium kick or my stand heavy punch and cancel into special and then into another special. Okay, well that's pretty good, and that should discourage that person from doing that button, right? But yeah, frame data is just really helpful because it allows you to understand when you should and you should not be challenging, or when you can or can't, right? Now, of course, it's not always the same because people could go very plus and then try to grab you, and that would be technically minus, right? Depending on the blocks done and all that. But for the most part, it just helps you understand like why certain strings are just destroying you. Because some strings in this game you just have to hold. You can't really challenge, especially if you're a 4-frame character. 4-frame character meaning you do not have a 3-frame light attack. So I would definitely recommend that. To learn it is very easy. You literally, if you don't understand it, you can ask streamers. They'll tell you. You can ask me on my stream, twitch.tv/freakygames. I will definitely be able to explain to you. It's very easy to understand. It's very helpful. It's one of those things also that as you become stronger, you won't really have to refer back to frame data as much. But like just knowing certain things, like most of the time, like a raw fireball in your face is -6 from a, So if a Ryu is very close up to you and does a crouch moving kick fireball, that's -6. So that means for most of the cast, you get to press a medium button into a punish, and that can be just like a whole momentum for the round, right? So it's very important to understand those things and to understand those situations. Number 7, optimize. This is not something I recommend to people just starting out or when you're around kind of gold or something, but I think once you hit platinum, I think it's kind of important for you to start optimizing. Optimizing means like, are you good at anti-airing? Are you good on the ground? Do you know your punishes? If someone goes -4, do you know how to punish -4? Do you even know that it's -4? Again, that's where understanding frame data would be helpful, right? Like if a Ken does a heavy kick Tatsu and you block it, do you know that outside of V trigger 1 that's -4 and and every character gets to punish that? Do you know that? Do you know that in V trigger 1 it's -2 and the best thing for you to do is to try to anti-air it as he does it, right? It's things like that. Your stun combos, are they optimized? Are you optimizing yourself in terms of meter usage? Are you blowing your meter too much? Are you spending critical art when you have a big life lead and there's another round to go and you shouldn't be doing that? Things like that. Like those little... As you get stronger, you'll notice that all the little decisions make a big difference. Right? So optimization is not just like, oh, I'm doing the most damaging combo I can from the button. Of course, yes, you want to do that, right? You want to have the best sweep punish you can have. You want to have the best everything. Everything that you can punish, you want to have the best combo you possibly, of course. But are you also managing your meter well? Are you managing your V meter well? Things like that. Is your game plan working? Is your game plan optimized? Is your reaction time optimized, right? Like, is your reaction bad? Well, then you got to work on it. You have to optimize yourself, right? So optimization is kind of like a broad spectrum of things, but it just means you're trying to get to your most maximum efficiency that you possibly can be, and then trying to maintain that and still also improving. Because as you improve, you'll always find that you're always going to find little things about yourself that you're going to nitpick and want to improve on. So for me, that is the fun of fighting games. Number 8, similar optimization. Just very much so like number 7 with optimization. Just know your punishes, right? Know how to punish -4. Know that sometimes, depending on the character you play, someone might go -6, but they're spaced out. You can't punish, so don't commit to like trying to DP it. Or if you have like a 3-frame starting up DP, know that you can punish a lot of things with that. know how to punish sweeps, know how to punish things that are minus, know how to like try to understand like Cammy's block dive kicks, like where they're minus, things like that. You want to know these things. Again, that would tie into like character notes and all that. Like this all kind of ties together. So knowing your punishes is very important, very simple. But like make sure that you can, if you block a Ken EXDP, right? Make sure that you're doing a neutral jump punish to get a huge combo, right? Not just defaulting to a crush counter 200 damage option when you could do like 350 to 400 if you can. So that one's pretty simple. Know your punishes, practice them. Number 9, be patient and understanding your opponent. Okay, so when you're just learning, right? And I have the same tendency whenever I play a character I'm not very strong with and I'm not confident with. What's the one thing we all do, right? We're all very offensive. We all jump a ton, right? So when you're fighting someone like that, the best thing for you to do is just be patient. Like round 1, I always look, the way I play is round 1 of every game versus every opponent. I see what they want to do. I will purposely do certain things that maybe look silly, like were bad ideas, because I want to see what the reaction is, right? If I'm playing Fog, I want to know what the reaction to my air, like their initial reaction to my air shot fireball is, right? Is it, do they block? Do they immediately jump when I jump? Do they forward dash, right? If I do the stomp at like a bad height, do they know to punish? Because if they don't, I'm going to do it, right? I'm like, oh, they have a weakness, right? Or do they know that if I press, do they know that this isn't a real string? Oh, they don't know that my stand medium punch into stand heavy punch gunshot isn't a real string? Okay. They don't know. Like, being patient, understanding your opponent is just like, you're not trying to just rush in and just do offense, because a lot of people get trapped in that, and that style, don't get me wrong, that style is not a bad style per se, okay? Like, I'm not saying it's bad, because there are very strong players that have definitely made that work. However, for me, I find to improve yourself, like, those players lose to people that are just patient and wait them out. Because they'll just kill themselves. And the good thing you can do is if, like, once, and this is only once you've achieved, like, a certain level of confidence, well, like, once you have your optimization, a lot of your optimization down, you know your punishes, you understand your mat, like, you're becoming confident and strong with your character. This is when I would implement being patient, understanding your opponent, right? Just relax. Have confidence to know, like, I can win on the ground. I can win air to air. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to fight this matchup. I'm confident, right? And then understanding your opponent is just seeing how they respond to you and what they want to do, right? Are you facing someone who's highly aggressive? Okay, well, what should you do to what can you do to counter? You could be highly aggressive back and just slug it out. That's an option. You could turtle up and be very patient. That's an option. If you're a zoning type character or you can zone and it's good for the matchup, maybe you do that, right? And understanding your opponent on defense, right? Are they mashing a lot of buttons on defense? Are they not willing to take a grab, right? Are they not willing to take one throw mid screen and they're gonna risk doing a light DP? That's knowledge for you to understand. Like, oh, when you see that, you go, oh, I'm just gonna meaty them a lot, and then eventually I will throw them again, because they're gonna get conditioned to think that I'm always gonna meaty them, so they're not gonna really risk it. Or, geez, this person likes hitting buttons a lot on Wake Up. Okay, I gotta make sure when I do meaties that my meaties are strong. Is the person doing a lot of Wake Up EXDPs? Are they jumping a lot? Like, these, you have to account for what your opponent wants to do, and then you have to have the confidence and the knowledge to know how to counter them. So, being patient, understanding your opponent it's not easy. It's definitely, I think, one of the harder things to do here, because it's just something that's going to take a lot of time. And lastly, I'm actually going to edit this real time here, because I would actually say this. Number 10, block more / take the throw. One thing I have definitely noticed playing through ranks for years and years with different characters, switching my main from Karen to Lucia to Falk, is people don't like blocking. And people don't want, like, people that have a life lead mid-screen on you will not want to take a throw. And the reason why that's bad is because in this game, most characters, right, especially in a V-Trigger, are 2 hits away from stunning, and they'll probably have critical art and kill you, right? So if you're winning, you really, for me, I find the best thing to do is just block a lot. If you block people out, they get very frustrated. And what are they going to do? Try to... If they feel like all they can do is throw you, just take a few throws. You'll be fine. I'm not saying always take the throw. Like, if someone's just continuously throwing you, yes, you should tech. And I'm not saying you should never delay tech. Of course you should, right? Of course. See what... That would go to understanding your opponent, right? But a lot of the times, people don't block. People don't, like when I play someone with Falk, right, and I do some of my setups and stuff, they're almost always pressing a button. They're almost always trying to DP. I've fought Ryu players that have had the life lead, and I've had the mid screen, and they've done a light DP from like a little scramble thing because they didn't want to take a throw. And it's like, a lot of the time you take a throw from a character, there's not much that happens afterwards. Like, you're fine. Like, you reset neutral, you reset the position, you reset your advantage on them. But instead, it's like you're going to risk doing a light DP that could lead to a crush counter to 300 plus damage plus corner carry. Is that something you really have to risk when you're winning? Most players will tell you no. And as for blocking, even Punka says this, it's just people don't block enough. And I myself am guilty of this. 100%. I am not playing the Saint here. I am definitely very guilty of this. However, I do find... especially against really aggressive people, if you block a lot, you can really frustrate your opponent into thinking that they have to take really big, dumb chances to get in on you. Just my other stream, I tried that whole stream not to DP as much, because I have a kind of a bad tendency that when I panic with Falk, one button DP, lol the meme, I hit the button. This one matchup, I just decided to block, and I blocked just a crap ton of pressure, and the guy didn't try to walk up throw me. I would have taken the throw, but I let him do his pressure until I felt it was at a range where I could assert myself back into the matchup, and I did, and I actually took the round because of that. And I was cornered too, and Falk in the corner, it's very hard for her to get out, right? If the player has good reactions, right? So I find that blocking more and just understanding when you should and shouldn't take a throw is very important. So hopefully this can be helpful. I'm sorry this was long-winded. Again, this was not scripted, so if I was a bit rambly, I do apologize. If you guys want, please follow me on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/freakygames. That is FR3AKY Games. I'll also have the link in the description. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I really, really hope that this helps you guys. Any questions, again, just come to my stream and ask me. I really love coaching / helping people, so... or if you want, just come say hi. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to you guys kicking some ass. Until next video, guys, be well, take care.